everybody, today I want to talk about why Michael Chandler and Tom Aspinall are two of the biggest dummies in the sport of MMA, maybe two of the biggest dummies on the face of the planet Earth. So, as you know, Jones and Aspinall, Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, are two of the biggest fights that should be happening, but aren't. And let's find out why, okay? So, Jon Jones and McGregor are two of the most popular fighters in the entire planet Earth. They enjoy their fame at the top of the sport, and have already cemented their legacies as fighters. Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world, and Conor McGregor is one of the richest men in the world. Their so-called rivals, Tom Aspinall and Michael Chandler, are two broke bums in the eyes of Jones and McGregor. Both Chandler and Aspinall are going about this fight completely wrong, the same way. You would think that one would have learned from the other, but no. You are not going to get these fights, guys, which will make you rich, by the way, by antagonizing, trolling, or attempting to taunt these legends. You think that you're going to get over on them? By supposedly making them the laughing stock. You've got all the fans laughing by your side. The media publicizes every single poke you take, but guess what? I hope those pokes are really, really valuable, because it's not going to get you the fight which is going to make you money. The challengers taunt, the A-sides 10x troll them back by simply not fighting them. It's not who trolls last, but who trolls best. These guys are making rubber ducky insults. Meanwhile, the man who can make them rich is just laughing at them, imploring them to stay broke. Not only that, but they are wasting opponents' valuable time. Aspinall hasn't had a fight. Chandler's barely had a fight. They're not making any money and they're getting older. Jon Jones just bought a palace and the Dirty Boxing Fighting League. He's a big partner. Tom Aspinall just cried over a $50,000 bonus.
You got performance of the night.
Whoa, I did. Yes. Did I really? Oh, when you mum.
Tom Aspinall, the UFC's interim heavyweight champ, has been doing everything he can to get to Jon Jones in the octagon. He's called him out, posted memes, thrown subtle digs, and tried to convince the world that Jones is running from him. But guess what? Jones isn't engaging. He ain't taking the bait. The biggest troll move of them all, silence. See, Jones already has reached the pinnacle of the sport. He's got the belt. He's got the money. He's got the leverage. Aspinall thinks goading him into a fight will work, but Jones is playing on a whole different level. He doesn't even have to respond. The biggest power move, make Aspinall beg for the fight without ever acknowledging him. And then there's Michael Chandler. Oh, poor Chandler. Signed up the Ultimate Fighter, got his hopes up, played the perfect UFC company man, and now he's left with nothing but Instagram hype videos and blind faith. He thought he was that really cool guy, not realizing that he blew a fortune by not playing the smart, humble man. Conor wants to make those rich who will appreciate, not those who will antagonize him into it. Conor McGregor is running the same game as Jon Jones, only McGregor's trolling is much louder. He keeps Chandler on the hook, teasing the fight, dangling the payday, but never actually committing. Chandler, he's still playing the please fight me bro game, hoping his constant callouts are going to make the fight happen. Here's the reality. If you're not in control, you don't dictate the fight. You don't get to force Jon Jones or Conor McGregor into the cage. And the more you beg, the weaker you look. Jones and McGregor know this, so their best move, keep trolling by not fighting. If you remember the last people that Conor fought, Cowboy Cerrone and Dustin Poirier, what did these two guys have in common with each other? They both were very respectful to Conor and noticeably thankful to be made rich. Conor is about to run for president of a sovereign nation. Michael Chandler is still saying that he has faith that Conor will fulfill their engagement. And let's be honest, if these fights ever happen, Jones and McGregor will do them on their terms when it benefits them. Until then, Aspinall and Chandler can keep on talking, but they're just playing into the biggest troll move in all of combat sports, the silent no. So where and when did these beefs begin? 2023 for both of them. The tension between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall isn't necessarily a full-blown beef in the traditional MMA sense, but it has been fueled by indirect jabs, media statements, and competitive circumstances. Here's a breakdown of how these things have unfolded. Origins of the tension: Jon Jones moves to heavyweight. After dominating the light heavyweight division for years, Jon Jones vacated his title in 2020 and set his sights on the UFC Heavyweight Championship. After a long layoff, he returned in March 2023 to fight Serial's Game for the vacant title after Francis Ngannou had left the UFC. Jon Jones easily won via first-round submission, becoming the undisputed champion of the earth. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall was making a name for himself in the heavyweight division. His impressive performances, particularly his quick knockout of Sergey Pavlovich in November 2023, earned him the UFC interim heavyweight championship, while Jones was sidelined with an injury. Aspinall begins calling out Jon Jones. After winning the interim title, Aspinall made it clear that his goal was to unify the belts by fighting Jon Jones. However, Jones showed little interest in fighting him, as he was already set to defend his title against Stipe Miocic. Jon Jones dismissed the idea of fighting Aspinall, implying that Aspinall hadn't done enough to even deserve a shot with him. Jones focused on Stipe Miocic, considering that fight more significant for his legacy and safer. Aspinall began to publicly express frustration, saying that he believed he was the best heavyweight in the world and should be fighting for the real belt. He accused Jones of avoiding him, which added more fuel to the fire. Jon Jones suffered a torn pectoral muscle in late 2023, which postponed his fight against Miocic. The UFC made Aspinall versus Pavlovich for the interim belt instead. While Jones is expected to return in late 2024, it is unclear if he will fight Aspinall or retire after fighting Miocic. Current status: Aspinall continues to call for the fight, claiming that Jones is dodging him, carrying little rubber duckies around with him, and he's a grown man. Extra grown, some would say, heavyweight guy. Jon Jones keeps going in and out of negotiations, wasting time as Aspinall brings toys to an arena. The situation is more about competitive friction than personal animosity. Aspinall wants to prove himself against the greatest, while Jones seems more focused on cementing his legacy rather than defending against new contenders. Origins of the McGregor-Chandler beef. 2023. The UFC announces McGregor versus Chandler as Tough 31 coaches. February 2023-ish. The UFC confirmed that Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler would coach the Ultimate Fighter 31, with an anticipated fight to follow. Chandler, former Bellator champion and an explosive fighter, had been calling out McGregor since joining the UFC in 2021. McGregor accepted, and the build-up began. Then they had a little on-screen tension, remember?
You want to do 185? I'll do 185.
You'll do what you're told.
During the show, McGregor and Chandler kept things mostly respectful, but Conor shoved Chandler in a heated moment of the spark viral attention. Chandler remained composed, but hinted that McGregor was losing his temper due to his team's shitty performance. McGregor's team, if you remember, lost every single fight up until the last one, I think. He might even lost the last one, I can't remember. Chandler consisted, said that he would finish Conor McGregor in the first round. McGregor dismissed Chandler as an easy fight and hinted at other options, suggesting that he was not fully committed to fighting Chandler. Fight delays and frustrations. Late 2023 to early 2024. USADA has issues with McGregor returning and making a delay for the return. USADA was giving Conor McGregor issues and delaying his return. The fight was expected for late 2023, but McGregor had not re-entered the USADA testing pool, making the fight impossible. Chandler became increasingly frustrated, calling out McGregor for delays and demanding the UFC give him clarity. McGregor eventually returned to the testing pool in late 2023, making a mid to late 2024 fight possible. Despite Chandler staying local to the matchup, Chandler, still waiting for a confirmed date, continued taking shots at McGregor's commitment, implying that Conor McGregor was hesitant to fight him. The fight is still not officially scheduled. Chandler remains dedicated to this fight. He has moved on to take other fights, but continues to try and change tactics like a buffoon, hoping that McGregor one day acquiesces. McGregor has been inconsistent in his messaging, at times confirming the fight will happen, but also teasing other possibilities. Every week, Conor McGregor has a new opponent in MMA, boxing, bare knuckle, sumo, who even knows? He is running a restaurant and is producing records right now even. On holidays, he meets with President Trump. Then there's poor Michael Chandler. Final take. While their beef isn't deeply personal, it's fueled by McGregor's lack of urgency, which frustrates Chandler. Chandler's persistence, which may be annoying to Conor McGregor. A long build-up with no fight date, creating uncertainty. If these fights happen, they will be two of the biggest fights that have ever happened in the history of UFC and combat sports. But will they ever actually happen? If Chandler and and Aspinall were smart, which they're not, they would make a complete 180-degree turn from insulting to complimenting. Start using the word respect, acknowledge that this will be your biggest payday, and express thanks to the A-sides who could make this happen for you, or keep you from riches forever. As the old saying goes, you catch more flies with sugar than with vinegar. So that being said, everything I hope goes your way. Thank you for tuning in. May Allah bless you. May the Lord save. May Buddha give you all the information you've been looking for. May the Hindu God keep you from turning blue like he did. And in the Lord's name we pray. Das Vidania.